right. Very good. We're here. All right. Sorry about that. Welcome in. It's the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran. We do talk radio for normal people, nonpartisan, non-political talk. Regular people talk, throwback talk. We do it every day around about noon. Go through all the hot topics, current events, lifestyle issues, good people hanging out together, talking every day since 2021. Thank you. We had a bit of a misfire there on the first salvo of today's show. I apologize for that. I got myself I got myself distracted. First of all, I got myself distracted watching the UN Security Council. Did you guys watch that about a half hour ago? The UN Security Council is, of course, meeting because the President of the United States is out there. Where is everybody? Oh, it's going to take a while. I don't even want to get into my rant yet because I know that people are still trying to find it. But I can't. Here's the other thing. Why can't I delete a video from Radio Misfits on YouTube? Because I'm not important enough, I guess. I guess within the pecking order of me and Ed, I'm not important enough. Hi, Barney. Say hi to the chat room here. We've got Maddie hanging out with us. We got Adam. We got Leslie. We're going to say Wolf Dog. I like it. Hey, Wolf Dog. Look, it's Wolf CDGO2. Wolf CO2. Wolf water. Is that what CO2? What is CO2? CO2 good or bad? God, I'm stupid. So stupid. I don't know basic things. All right, guys. As I was saying, I got caught up earlier today. New show should have started at noon. I was watching the UN Security Council, which they've called an emergency meeting because of what's happening in Iran. And really, I don't know what's happening in Iran, but I can tell you what's happening on the toilet in the White House. There is a madman tweeting all kinds of crazy shit. Whatever. I mean, it's got people in a tizzy, but here's the thing, man. Like people get all bad. I said this the other day when he tweeted, wow, look how wild it is. I can't even off the top of my head. Hold on. Can't even off the top of my head remember what exactly it was that he tweeted on Sunday, Easter, that made everybody. Oh, praise Allah. That's what it was, right? All right, so on Sunday, he praises Allah. Everybody freaks out about it. He threatens. My favorite line from the Sunday tweet from the President of the United States was, "Open up the straits, you crazy bastards." There's kind of a weird vibe there in the middle of it. Open up the straits, you crazy bastards. It didn't ring true, or it was weird. It was like, and then he said, praise Allah. And that got a whole bunch of people crazy and upset. And I said yesterday when talking about the Sunday tweets, like, I can't get all that freaked out about it because that tweet is just incrementally worse than like the past 50 tweets that you people all got tizzied out about. Aren't you immune to it yet? I am. I mean, I just, at this point, it's just like, oh, God. Somebody take fucking Grandpa's phone. Right? That's where I am. Well, he did it again today. Yeah, he did it again today. We woke up today and he's talking about war crimes and ending civilizations. And, it's a problem. It's a problem. Although, certain people, if you see certain people online, it's not a problem because it's what they're calling 3D chess. Yeah, that's what this guy's doing. That's what's happening. He's just not completely in over his head and has no fucking idea how to negotiate with people who aren't capitalists. He's playing 3D chess. Oh, he's smarter than everybody else. Okay. All right. So that's what they're. All right. Whatever. Shut up. You don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He never knew what he was doing. You know what he knows what he's doing? He knows how to negotiate a lease on a boardwalk casino. That he might know how to do that. But this is also weird. He threatened, he did the threat today in the tweet where he's like, they got until 8:00 or I'm going to bomb them back to the stone. He does that thing. Okay. So the whole world's freaking out and the UN called a Security Council meeting this morning, as rightfully they should. Because the UN Security Council, by the way, you people that think he's playing 3D chess, you genius. What is this? Is this like you recognize a like genius? I mean, what's the next move then? Everybody, come on. You people who are like, he's playing 3D chess. Well, if you're smart enough to recognize he's playing 3D chess when the rest of us think he just looks like an asshole, if you're smart enough to recognize it, how about share what's going to happen next? Because you're just a fucking simp. This is insane. You're a blue check weirdo claiming to be some doctor. No, seriously, I want to talk about, there was a guy guy that I always see him on Twitter. He gets amplified. Here's the deal. Dr. David Perry or something like that. Something weird like that. You go to his page and you see this homespun Marcus Welby doctor type guy, and he lives in Boise. He's been a proud practitioner of family medicine in Boise for the past 50 years. And he's got like 50,000 followers and a blue check, and it's all crazy. He's not real, is my point. He's not real. But the aesthetic of his page makes, people who don't really, look into stuff very much. The aesthetic of the page make people think that, well, he's just a kindly Midwestern doctor. Certainly his takes on geopolitical war is more informed than mine. There's so much misinformation going on. There's so much normalization going on. Normalization, I talk about it a lot. Normalization is the process where you take something that everyone knows is absolutely absurd, but you start saying it out loud so people hear it and then think that maybe it's not as absurd as they once thought. Normalization usually starts with us, the morons, having some fucking half-baked stupid thought, but we never say it. We never say it out loud because we understand that it's socially objectionable, this crazy, stupid thing that we think. Why is it socially objectionable? Well, probably because it lacks any real thoughtfulness, but whatever, we don't need to get into it. We all have these stupid things, and we never used to say the stupid things because it wasn't normal to say something stupid like that. Then social media comes along, and there are certain interests out there, foreign interests, if you will, that operate these things called bot farms that we all know exist. This isn't a QAnon theory. As a matter of fact, the whole reason QAnon took off is because of these bot farms. We've got these people who try to inject into the national narrative these absolutely absurd things that we would never used to say out loud, but now they're normalized. So here's what happens. So you and me, we have a stupid thought, a stupid, poorly informed thought. Oh, we have them. Oh, stop acting like everything you think is right. You're not a fucking expert. You listen to a guy on Sean Hannity, and now suddenly you're repeating what he says, and you're convincing yourself that you're an expert. Shut up. All right, so we have this stupid thought. We would never say it. Again, we'd never say it. We wouldn't be sitting down to dinner with friends from your wife's work and then go, hey, you know what? I think that maybe gay guys should be put in camps. You would never say that. You wouldn't. At least not before. But then, these bot farms get involved and they pose as people like kindly Midwestern doctors or, just an empty nester mom from Indiana. That's who I am. They pose as these things, non-threatening people that you can relate to. And then they say shit like, honestly, homosexuality is a crime against Jesus, and maybe we ought to start enforcing Jesus's laws and put homosexuals in prison. Right? This is a crazy example. I'm just brainstorming. So she puts that out there, boom, and it's on Twitter. And then the dumb guy who wouldn't say that at the dinner with his wife's friends from work, the dumb guy now reads it, and he goes, must be normal. I guess I'm not the only one. Strength in numbers. And now that fucking guy is in that thread going, yeah, I always said that's how normalization works. I think we ought to outlaw social media. I really do. I think that this is not going to be I think in 2026, this might be a crazy and shocking thought, but maybe by 2040, I think more people are going to be like, nah, that shit needs to be illegal. That shit's like a drug. We're going to start to recognize, especially at times like this, where the president of the United States is using social media to amplify one of the most absurdly abnormal takes a president has ever had. It's all social media. We got the Twitter president. Sorry, Truth Social. Which, by the way, does anybody think Truth Social is going to be around 5 years after he's out? I mean, do you think these people, or do you think they'll come back to all the other places where the normal people are? Oh, they'll be back. It's fucking weirdos. It's all bots anyway. So we've got a countdown now. We've got 12:48, 7 o'clock. I don't want to do the math. 6 hours and 12 minutes. Is that right? Did I do the math? Did I do the math right? Is it 7 o'clock Central Time when this end of civilization event is supposed to happen? So as I told you, I was watching the UN Security Council. Now they're taking it very seriously. And here's who I was listening to before we came on here. I got to hear from China. Whew, got some notes on what China said. Got to hear from the United Kingdom. Very interesting. They followed China. And, China, you can guess what they said. But it was interesting to be able to hear what the United Kingdom would say because we have a special relationship with our brothers over the pond. They're our closest friends. They're our sophisticated English cousins. So I was interested to hear how they would respond after China went hard on the United States. And then the third one that I heard from Iran themselves. Yeah. Guy from Iran was wearing a sport coat just like mine, except he was wearing one of them white Iran robe dresses underneath it, but he had like a pinstripe Calvin Klein sport coat. It wasn't a good look. Didn't look good. You got to wear something a bit more darker under that jacket. That jacket, it's a zoot suit jacket. You don't want to go pinstripes with white. That's not. Anyway, so China, they start off right now. This is all in response to President Trump's tweet this morning. So China starts off, and here's what we learned about China. China and Russia are hand in hand in this. China's like, yeah, so our good friends from Russia. Whoa, that ain't good. Thanks, Trump. Thanks, Trump. You made Russia and China hold hands at the UN Security Council against us. China's against it. China's like, China's happily taking over the petro dollar. It's now a yen. It's now petro yen or something. I don't know. That's a new thing. That's a new change. The dollar no longer regulates oil in the world. Sorry, that's done. It's not coming back. It ain't coming back. China scooped it up, and now they're the arbiters of oil in the world. So anyway, China, they're like, yeah, we in Russia, we're like, you guys better stop this right now, America. Right, that's basically what China was saying. Okay, so China says that, and I'm like, Jesus creeps. Oh my God, Trump's got China and Russia shaking sticks at us right now. So, and by the way, Russia's been providing Iran with all kinds of stuff. Russia has been, the way we've been supporting Ukraine. Yeah, Russia's getting back at us. Russia is supporting Iran. Of course they are. So that's what China had to say. And then we heard from the UK, and I'm like, okay, so what's this guy going to do? Is he going to break bad on the United States, or is he going to, stick with us through thick and thin? Well, they stuck with us. Yeah, the UK, here's how the UK stuck with us in the UN Security Council. They didn't really want to talk about, the threats and, the deadline and all that. The UK guy said, we stand with our brothers in demanding the opening of the Straits of Hormuz. That's what England was all about. England was just about, hey, can we just talk about the Straits? Can we just talk about gas prices? That's what England wanted to do. So England neither chastised China for coming hard against the United States or really vociferously support the Truth Social posts of President Trump. But England did kind of side with us in that, hey, he's just trying to open the straits, man. Let's go. England did say something that was kind of weird. England said, and Iran did this. This is all Iran's doing. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? And I'm like, I guess it's all Iran's doing in that they closed the Strait of Hormuz. That, yes, if we are staying, but them close it, they didn't just wake up and go, what are you going to do today? Let's disrupt global oil shipping. Let's shut the strait. Let's do that today. All right. Hey, you know what? We're not playing golf. We're gonna shut the straits. That's not what Iran did. I mean, Iran got attacked. They went, and the whole reason that Iran and Trump, he's out there. He's like, there have been 20 administrations or whatever he's saying. There's been all these administrations, and not a single one of them. Not a single one has had the balls. I'm paraphrasing Trump, although it's probably pretty close to what he said. All the other presidents never had any balls to do what I'm doing is basically what he wants us to hear. And, as I pointed out, I'm like, yeah, you were one of them. You were one of the presidents who didn't have balls. You were president 2 times ago. You could have done this. You didn't. You didn't do it then. So President Trump, all right, so England says, okay. So yeah, bring us back to that. So why didn't anyone else do it? Trump would have you believe that, Carter didn't do it, Reagan didn't do it, Bush didn't do it, Clinton didn't do it, Bush didn't do it, Obama didn't do it, Trump one didn't do it, but probably had a good reason. And now Trump 2. Biden didn't do it. Now Trump 2 is doing it. So what he's learning now in real time, to the chagrin of the rest of the globe, is why. Because Trump would have us believe that they didn't do it because they're pussies. I'm a tough guy. Pussies scared. They were scared. That's not why they didn't do it. They didn't do it because Iran had one thing in their back pocket, and that's shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. That's why nobody did it. But Trump's like, they won't do that. And Hegseth, I was saying before, this war seems like it was planned by a guy who did weekends and fill-in on Fox News. Oh, it is? It is planned by a guy who, not a general? No, they fired the generals. See, I wonder if any of the generals had a problem with us, not recognizing that they're going to close the Straits of Hormuz. I mean, see, Trump, again, this is the problem with Trump, and this is a problem with a lot of you. And I can say a lot of you because I was never this guy. From the time I'm in college, I'm hearing these Alex Keaton Family Ties wannabes saying bullshit like, what we need is a businessman to run this country. Yeah, a businessman. And I'm from the very beginning. I'm like, why? Because you think you think the greatest society that God ever created is run for a profit? You fucking ghoul. You don't govern a civilization in the same way that you run a company for profit. So shut the fuck up. What we need are statesmen, not real estate moguls who run failed fucking casinos, you idiots. Anyway, that's the problem. Trump doesn't see the world the way other people in the world see it. Trump is a capitalist, and Trump believes that the threat of destruction and we'll take all your oil and you won't make. He believes that this is a way to negotiate with radical Islamic fundamentalists, and it's not working. He doesn't get it. His whole metric is, well, they'll surely back down. They'll back down. Do you know how much it'll cost them to rebuild their infrastructure? It'll take generations. They're not backing down. What? They left the meeting? Yeah, that's the other thing. So we have a countdown on the clock now before whatever happens tonight. We've got a countdown going, and there are no negotiations taking place. After Trump's Truth Social tweet this morning, the Iranian delegation said, yeah, okay, fuck you, and they left. Now, obviously, I'm just a dude doing a live stream on YouTube. I don't know if there are back channels. I would think there probably are. Furious phone calls being traded back and forth between people who are maybe 2 or 3 levels away from the Oval Office. There are people who have friends in the Iranian delegation. Like, what's going on, man? Can we get these guys? I'm sure that's happening. But officially, there are no negotiations going on today. They were. Wasn't it Jared and Witkoff and then, a couple of dudes from the Iranian delegation who we haven't killed yet? Well, they're gone. There's not going to be any more negotiations, apparently. So we're just watching the clock. And 7 o'clock we'll get here. All right, let's see. I'm going to check in with the chat room. I want to see any of you guys have any thoughts on this. I mean, it is kind of a big day. We've had a big couple of days. Oh, my God. We had the Artemis shit going on, which is inspirational and aspirational and hopeful and all of these really cool things. And then the other big news is, and we're going to wipe out the world's oldest civilization from the face of the earth. We're going to wipe them out. He's not, though. He's not. And here's what I do think we can expect, okay? We're not going to see anything, I don't think, because I don't believe that he has the balls to do what he's threatening to do. See, he is trying to present, that's projection. He does it a lot. He presents every other president as being too weak to do the thing that I'm willing to do. So let's see. All right, because now you've been threatening about the Strait of Hormuz. They ain't budging. So what are you going to do? How many American soldiers are going to die tonight so that you can fucking own the libs or whatever this is about. Get people to stop talking about the Epstein files. I don't think it's going to happen that way. I really don't. There has already been today reports of attacks on that Kharkiv Island or whatever. So that's a thing. That's a real thing. That's where they refine all of their domestic oil and how they run their country and how they, I guess they sell their oil there. I don't know what it is. I know it's important to them. Okay. So there's already started attacks there, reports earlier this morning. I think that when all is said and done by 11:30 or whenever, when we're all turning in for the night and like, okay, this doesn't look like anything's going to happen. I think that we will see maybe at most a tiny bit more than what we've been experiencing over the past 6 weeks. I mean, they've been nonstop bombing. I mean, we'll see things and we'll hear reports, but I don't know that it's going to be the, complete destruction of a civilization, the way he's presenting it. Because again, he's a salesman and a con man. So he always overpromises and underdelivers. So I don't expect that. Here's what I do expect. I do expect in the morning for them to act like they did exactly what they said. What, you guys didn't see it? We unleashed all hell on them last night. What, you didn't see it? You know what I mean? And then there's going to be the other things. How many fucking hospitals, how many old folks' homes, how many girls' schools, right? All of these things are going to come out. If he does what he says he's going to do, those things are going to happen, and lots of innocent people are going to die. And that's why the UN Security Council is meeting today, because they don't know if this guy's fucking nuts or what. And again, this isn't like the Jordanian army threatening to go into Tehran and do something. This is the world's most powerful military force. A threat of this magnitude from this army, our army, needs to be taken far more serious than any other rando country saying that they're going to go in and attack another rando country, because those rando countries don't have the big bombs the way that we do. Tick, tick, tick on the clock. All right. Al is in the chat room. Hold on, let me go back. I'll get some of your thoughts on this. All right, so Barney and I, we're going to agree on this. This is the vast majority of human thoughts are wrong. I think we're going to agree on that. Considering that I have like a billion thoughts every day, and I would say that 99.999% of them are not all that well thought through. Thank you, Barney. Mikey D in the chat room, he says, I just saw that we, along with Israel, have bombed bridges and other infrastructure ahead of the deadline. Yeah, we're gonna keep, but we're not, See, here's what I've been for from the beginning: regime change. And these clowns have backed off that. These clowns are like, yeah, well, we're not necessarily saying regime. I'm like, well, we are. That's what we wanted. Regime change. But no. So what they are doing, though, in this, as Mike is reporting, because I saw this earlier as well. Yeah, we're blowing up bridges. We're making it hard for people to get, groceries and shit. We're wrecking the water, normal folks. They're going to a lot of people are going to die, cholera. There's going to be all kinds of disease. So that's what we're going to do. That's our big plan. We're just going to, remember when those very same people were taken to the streets and we're like, yeah, you go. Well, we're going to make them pay. We're going to make them pay now. We're going to fuck up their toilets. They're not, you think the Artemis 2 crew have it bad. You just wait till you're like a year in to post-radical Islamic Iran, and ain't nobody done nothing. What, you think Trump is going to put some big bill through to rebuild Tehran? His MAGA fucks won't let him do that. We're just going to blow everything up and leave it. Those people are fucked forever. All right, thank you, Mike. Let's see. Al says the president is losing it. End of story. See, I got to be honest with you, brother. This is how I respond to a bunch of people who are echoing that very same sentiment online. I'm like, losing it? Where the hell have you guys been? What do you mean losing it? Come on. I mean, I'm glad you're with us here in the front row now, but we've been seeing this for quite some time. You people were clouded because you were making fun of a stupid old man, Joe Biden. Yeah, he was an old man. I don't think he was senile or whatever, but he was really old and fragile, and so you amplified that. But meanwhile, you got, and you voted for him 3 times, and you don't even recognize it. You're like, no, he seems totally fine. It's Biden. Biden's the madman. Biden's just old, slow. Trump's not. All right, let's see here. Who else do we got in the chat room? Hugh's in the chat room. He says, we can support our oil needs. I'm more concerned with the fertilizer leading to food shortages and helium needed for, I don't know what the fuck he's. I love Hugh, but he's smart. He's one of the smart people. He says things that I start to read, and then I'm like, okay, it's too many big words. Maddie in the chat room. Maddie says, you guys, I was saying on the other feed, please go look up the new moon pictures NASA is releasing. They're amazing and really beautiful. Yes, they are. But don't go look them up. We're gonna see that stuff today. What, you think I'm just gonna let what happened yesterday for humanity just go by us? Oh my God. We'll talk about Artemis too. But first, we got war to talk about. Al says, I still think that the Israelis are holding the Epstein files over Donald Trump, and they're going to release it unless he continues to attack Iran. Attack Iran. They got something on him. So does Putin. So probably the Chinese too. I imagine that all of these, top tier, they got, oh, you don't think Donald Trump, well, they want to release them. Not if other governments possess them. Like, this is what they always say. If there's a video of Donald Trump getting peed on by a Russian prostitute, it would have been released. Well, not if it's unavailable to be released. I mean, I don't understand the logic in that argument. Anything that if Donald Trump was really involved with the Epstein kids, it would have come out long before now. Dude, are you not following along? That's the problem. None of this stuff has ever come out. It's been hidden. It would have come out when he first. That's the point, dude. I don't know. People don't get it. But yeah, I don't disagree, Al. I think China has stuff. I think a whole bunch of people have stuff on Donald Trump. The Russians, absolutely. I mean, because the Russians' stories of them looking at him and going, this is the kind of capitalist pig these idiots will elect presidents one day. They spotted that early. And so they've been he did a lot of business with Russia. The Russian banks, the Russian oligarchs were the only one that would give him loans after the debacles in Atlantic City. So, we didn't ask too many questions about that. Actually, some people asked all kinds of questions about that, but those people were called fake news. So it's not like there wasn't endless examples of this guy's corruption, greed, and willingness to cross a moral line. Plenty of it. It's just that anybody that brought it up was called, fake news. So here we are. And a whole bunch of, formerly MAGA types. Oh, and by the way, and I'm not fooled by this too. There is a mission on the left to right now take advantage of the tone of the country. And the tone of the country is a lot of people are mad at Trump. And there is a feeling that diehard, once loyal MAGA Kool-Aid drinkers are now going, I voted for Trump 3 times and I will never. He is a con man and needs to be put in prison. We're seeing these, right? We're seeing these all over the place. I'm just telling you, be careful. They're not all authentic. Because the left has recognized that this is now an online campaign. So the left has their own blue check bots who look like random people. I run a bicycle shop in Berkeley. And let me tell you, I voted for Trump 3 times. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So a lot of that stuff is bullshit. Now, both things can be true. That is happening. There are a lot of people who are... I would say it's more within the independent voter, the fence sitter who Trump won overwhelmingly. Those are the people who are like, yeah, no, this is nonsense. I mean, but the diehard MAGA. As a matter of fact, there was a really funny story that got promoted on right-wing media that, I'm like, God, they really think their viewers are stupid. The story was a poll about how Trump still has 100% support among MAGA supporters. They promoted that like a victory. Think about it. Trump has 100% support among MAGA supporters. So the only people they asked how well Trump was doing were people who were already in MAGA. And he's got 100% support. That's not a victory. That's of course. That's like me saying I've got 100% support among my mom. It's not really, anyway. They really think we're stupid because we don't think. We see things, we process quickly, we cut to the chase, and then we move on. And most of the time, we cut to the wrong chase because we didn't really think it through. It just sounded good, so I went with it. All right, so there you go. That's the big thing happening tonight. We got a war going on. Good times. Good times. Now would be a good time for them Trump checks, huh? Remember that? Remember, did anybody get you I don't know. I check the mail every day. I keep waiting on my $5,000 Doge check that never seemed to come. He promised it. There's a story here. I'm going to skip over it because I just can't do it today. But there's a story here about all of the times that Trump has promised to give money to the American people and how he didn't. And how the only time that he did was a time when there was special money allocated specifically for that because of the COVID crisis. But yeah, apparently we should all be like 18 grand deep right now with all of the promises that Trump has made. Now, fairly, most of them were made on the campaign trail. I mean, if he had won, he would have done all those things. Oh, he did win? So are we getting our checks? No? Okay, that's unfortunate. Anyway, we're going to skip over that story. Let's talk about Artemis 2, man. Let me geek out. Let me be a space nerd for a while. By the way, it was such an awesome night last night. I went home and I got home just in time for the whole Artemis 2 thing to start playing out, right? They reached the closest point. They looped around the moon. They went into the dark side of the moon, you know. There'll be no radio contact. They will be completely cut off from all civilization for the next 40 minutes. And then you wait. And then they had the countdown on the screen, and I'm doing things. I'm puttering around my house, and I check in, and I'm like, 12 minutes left. And then you check in again, 3 minutes, and then you sit down, and silence, and it's just... And then you go past the time, and you're like, oh, my God, where are they? Where'd they go? Because they went past the time, you know. I expected to, like, right at 0 that you would hear, Houston, this is Orion. You know, I expected to hear that right away, and I didn't. So then the tension got even ratcheted up. It's like, where are they? Where are they? And they appeared. And we're back. And it was so cool, man. Chills. Let's see. Oh, also some bad news. That wasn't all perfect. I told you about yesterday, the big problem. Big problem yesterday was that the shitter broke. And, they had $2.5 million shitter or something. I don't know. It's like here's the thing. In the past on these moon missions, they wore diapers. Famously in the film The Right Stuff, they went in the suit. Remember, go in the suit. It'll work. And they wore diapers. But this thing here, this isn't like a space station that's permanent. The space stations have shitters. This thing, this new space capsule for this Artemis 2 mission, this thing's got a shitter, and it cost a lot of money. And they're like, you can go in there and you can take a dump, right? Well, it broke. It broke like almost immediately. So they're back in diapers. And then they fixed it, which was good. So they lost the diapers. And then yesterday, when they were going around the dark side of the moon, the shitter broke again. So they're back in diapers, and they're thinking they're probably going to have to stay in diapers for the next 10 days. There's going to be butt rash. These astronauts are going to have butt rash. They're grown humans. Their skins, they're mature adults. Their skin is not going to be used to that. They're going to get butt rash, is all I'm saying. All right, let's look at some pictures. Let's see, what do we got here? Any good pictures? They took some really cool pictures. They took cool pictures. They had cool videos. By the way, I do want to mention this. Yesterday, we watched live, and how cool was it that we were watching it live when they did the dedication of the 2 new craters that were seen on the moon. They spotted and identified 2 new craters that had not been named. They named one of them Integrity for the space pod capsule, whatever that they're in. You know what? I got to get this right. It's the Artemis 2 mission. We know that. So there's nothing there called Artemis 2. Just the overarching name for the entire project is Artemis. And this is Artemis 2. All right. So the spaceship is the Orion. Is the capsule the Integrity? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, let's move on. So one of the craters yesterday, and we watched this happen live, was named Integrity. We're like, oh, that's really cool. And in the second one, they named Carol. Remember, they made this beautiful speech about Carol, and we're going to name it Carol. And there's going to be like a couple of times every year where you can look up at the moon and you're going to be able to see this particular, Carol, which I immediately went, wait, you can see it, but nobody ever named it till now? It's like, what do you mean? How well can you see? Isn't everything that you can see on the moon been named by astronomers? Okay, but I guess not. So Carol is now a thing. I falsely informed you or speculated that Carol was one of their training partners, one of their astronauts who must have passed away over the course of training for this. Turns out that Carol is Carol Wiseman. She is the wife of Reed Wiseman, who is the commander of the mission. She died of cancer. She had a long cancer battle while Reed was training for this. So it's a whole big thing. All right, let's check out some of these new pictures. I think the best way to do this is to just go to Twitter. Just go to Twitter and go to the Artemis 2 and just look at the cool ass pictures that they got up there. Let's see. Okay. Can I make it big? That's what she said. Yes, you can, baby. Okay, so we're not going to do that one. All right, let's see what this is. This looks pretty cool. All right. Honestly, like video game graphics and CG and AI and, photorealistic and all that shit, that stuff looks more real than real. Like this, I'm looking at this. They're telling us that this is real. This is the I don't even know what we're looking at. It's the moon and the earth, right? Okay, and is that Artemis 2 in between? Well, then who's taking this picture? Maybe a probe? I have no idea. Anyway, point is this. I don't even know if this is real. This looks so good that I'm like, that's fake. Right? Isn't that how we think now? If something looks too good, we're like, dude, that's fake. I mean, seriously, with this kind of resolution, look at that, man. That is cool. That thing, this stupid planet, this damn planet, it's a satellite is what the moon is. It's a satellite. It's a giant round rock that is caught in Earth's orbits, and it's just going to stay with us. Look at all of this thing has been hit. Here's what I don't understand. The reason the moon looks this way is because it's been it's gotten the shit kicked out of it for the last 100 quadrillion years. And all those little circles that you see, all those little craters, those are meteors or asteroids or something that is slammed into the moon. So I know that we here on Earth, we've got a couple of instances in our past where meteors and stuff like that. But if the moon is taking such a relentless onslaught, why don't we? And is this still happening? I don't know. I have questions. I just like the spaceship stuff. I don't really know about the moon. I mean, I know about regolith. You know about regolith? Regolith is like the biggest problem between us and actually having anything to do with the moon. Regolith is, more commonly known as moon dust. Hi, Al. I left Al up here. He's still talking about the Israelis, and we've moved on, so I think he's got to go. Regolith is the moon dust, and it's like the entire planet is this moon dust. And what is it? It's basically glass. It's like shards of glass. It's tiny, little itty bitty. It's sand, right? Or dust. Dust. It's called dust because dust would be smaller than sand. But it's like all over the planet, and it gets in everything. And because it's electromagnetized, it sticks to everything. And it's honestly the reason that you can't just do things normally on the moon with equipment and with machines. Everything's got to be specially built. Every drill, every whatever, specially built because of this freaking regolith, which is everywhere. Anyway, this is pretty cool. Is it over? I want to watch that again. We're looking at pictures of the moon. Like we ain't never done seen it before. Look at that. Woo. All right. By the way, I saw a great response to somebody who was doing the flat earther bullshit yesterday. You know, a lot of people are talking about we didn't go to the moon and the world is flat, like that. Somebody had a brilliant response that I'd never heard before, and I think I shared it on my Twitter. The response was, if you flat earthers are so sure that the world isn't round, then why, in the history of history, has not a single one of you walked to the edge of the earth to prove us all wrong? I'm like, what? If it's flat, then why hasn't anybody, there are no report, we're going on a journey to the edge of the earth. Why has that not been a thing? So shut the fuck up, flat earthers. That would be like something people climb rocks, people jump out of, satellites from space. I'm talking about, those extreme jumpers who like go right to the edge of space and then they parachute down. Those guys are crazy. People do crazy things. You don't think that if it was true that the earth was flat, that people hadn't already, gone over there? How'd your husband die? Well, I went off the side of the earth. Oh, I guess it's true what they say. No, but you don't do that. So shut up, stupids. I'm so done with this. See, those are the kinds of things that also took up steam in the early days of social media through normalization. People say a stupid thing. Look, guys, nobody before Facebook talked about the moon landing being fake. I'm sorry. Some people did. Fucking weirdos. And we put them in their corner because it was abnormal to just socially bring shit like that up. And then suddenly Facebook happens and you got people normalizing absurd comments. Hugh is in the chat room. Hugh says Earth is mostly water, so many hit the ocean. Also, our atmosphere burns them down in entry. The moon does not. There you go. See, I told you he was a smart one. He's probably right. I have no idea if he is or not. All right. Speaking of Artemis was very cool. Toilets are broken. We've got beautiful pictures. You can find them anywhere. They're all over the place. They're gorgeous. Anyway, be wary of fake ones. You got to make sure there's a lot of fake ones because you can fake shit. And the real pictures actually look fake. So it's, kind of a strange little thing happening there. All right. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because I brought this up last week and I think there was another story a couple of weeks ago. And I've been talking about how, so a lot of people who rose to prominence on the backs of the MAGA wave have now, for, self-survival purposes, kind of distanced themselves from the MAGA movement. People, because of Epstein and because of Iran or whatever, the economy, people who were diehard MAGA acolytes, they have now distanced, but they want to stay in their position of prominence. Marjorie Taylor Greene's an example, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene was as ardently pro-Donald Trump until she wasn't, but she still wants to maintain a position of prominence. And so there's a number of people who are like that. Matt Gaetz, Matt Gaetz is one of those guys. He's kind of different though, because his deal is that he would love to be back in the middle of MAGA, right? He'd be a Stephen Miller. He'd love to do that. But he's toxic to MAGA. Matt Gaetz is even too toxic for MAGA. They're like, we're covering up sex crimes for the president with children. Now, we can't do that with you too, Matt. We got too much going on here, buddy. But there's a bunch of them out there. And I was talking last week about, so what's their play going to be? Like, if they're going to move away from the MAGA play, which is, build a wall and no foreign wars and, all that stuff. Let's get pedophiles. If you're going to move away from all that, what's going to be the new thing? See, because here's what they got to do. They got to find a subject that stupid people are passionate about. I shouldn't say stupid. I should say, poorly informed, malleable, people who you can get one over on, right? That's what they're looking for. That's how they won. That's how Trump became president, by appealing to those people and getting them all in one voter group and then get them all stirred up, right? So, but there's more. You can do that again. And the thing that they're using is UFO disclosure. I told you this a couple of weeks ago. All of these fringy MAGA people who are trying to get back into the soundbite game and go viral, they're now talking about UFOs. They are. Matt Gaetz. We talked about remember Matt Gaetz? Matt Gaetz last week, I think it was. He was on a podcast talking about how when he was in Congress, he had a military officer come and see him. He wanted to act as a whistleblower, and he wanted to blow the whistle on this alien human hybrid program. Matt Gaetz, former member of Congress, said that. Matt Gaetz is not credible. But let me tell you something. This is, well, we'll get into this when we hear the latest. And then there are also a bunch of very credible people who are now actively and openly discussing seriously, not with a roll of the eyes and tongue in cheek and ooh, the spooky aliens. No, discussing seriously. People are discussing the subject seriously and what they know and what they believe. People like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who openly discusses the fact that, yes, there are government programs that are looking into this stuff. Marco Rubio is a big advocate for disclosure. So he's not necessarily the crazy guy. But when you have people, the subject itself, discussing the subject itself by the standards of anybody who grew up in the 80s or the 90s, it's crazy. That you are a crazy person if you talk about UFOs. That's how the 80s and 90s looked at it. But now it's been normalized. So now we're all talking about it. Now, I happen to be somebody who happens to believe, I'm not going to get into any specifics of what I believe about, programs and all that. I don't know. There's a lot of manipulation going on because it's a hot subject at the moment. I do believe that we're not alone. I do believe that the aliens are active in human civilization. To what extent? We can have a couple of beers and talk about that. Won't bore you with it now, but I do believe that. I do believe that it's absolutely ridiculous to think that in the ever-expanding universe that we're the only ones. I mean, that's so human. That is so narcissistic. Oh, it's just us. Yeah. There's like a billion of these planets, but this is the only one that did this. That's absurd. It's absurd. It is a notion that probably lends some security to people who live their life in fear, right? I'm afraid of the aliens. So, it's better to just be like, there's nobody more powerful than us. It's also the kind of thing that will severely screw up religion on this planet. Well, religion's going to have to do some dancing. Because if, in fact, it is revealed at some point that we're not alone and that there is another civilization, the very first thing I think a lot of Christians need to ask themselves is, well, who's their God? And can their God beat up our God? And should we all just be with the alien God now? Or, as I believe, have the aliens been God all along? Yeah, that's what I believe. But we won't get into it. Again, beers. We'll have to have beers to have that conversation. So the conversation's being normalized. And last night around 7 o'clock, TMZ went live with a breaking thing. TMZ Harvey Levin sat down and spoke with Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett is... he's not one of the crazy, he's not Matt Gaetz. Like Matt Gaetz. Look, if you are a liberal who hates everything that's right of center, then you think Tim Burchett is a crazy person. But, on the scales of it all, he's not. He's actually a very pro-working class guy. His district there in East Tennessee is locked up for as long as he wants it because he supports the workers in that town. He supports the middle class. He does a really good job with his constituency. Now, if you get angry because he goes on Fox News and he says some things about the president that you disagree with, well, tough. But I'm just trying to say that Tim Burchett is not Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lorena Boebert or Matt Gaetz, okay? He's even criticized the president from time to time, even though he is a staunch supporter of MAGA in the moment. Anyway, Tim Burchett did an interview with Harvey Levin of TMZ. And I just want to play it for you because this is a sitting congressman in the United States House of Representatives, Tim Burchett from Tennessee, talking with TMZ. And it's pretty shocking. It is pretty shocking what he said.
What did you see now? I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago. That was very alarming, the way you said that, at least.
Yeah, well, because of the circumstances and where it was, I can't get into too much specifics, but it was elaborating on some stuff that we'd asked for, and it was important to get this person in a secure setting to where we could ask him these questions. And there's somebody in the meeting.
He is talking about the hearings from a couple of weeks ago where Congress actually spent a couple of days talking to these generals and these scientists and these pilots and all of these people who were reporting what they saw. Tim Burchett was on that committee, and he's talking, that's the context of what he's talking about. He's talking about how during that committee, there was people that they had to speak with behind closed doors, non-public, and that's what he's talking about.
What did you see now? I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago. That was very alarming, the way you said that, at least.
Yeah, well, because of the circumstances and where it was, I can't get into too much specifics, but it was elaborating on some stuff that we'd asked for, and it was important to get this person in a secure setting to where we could ask him these questions. And there's somebody in the meeting with us. One of my colleagues, I guess you'd say, was basically there just to kind of upset the apple cart and to throw, a monkey wrench into the deal. And every time the question was asked by this particular party, it was really the answers were out there, and they gave them, and they gave specifics, they gave addresses, they gave times and dates and people that were in the meeting. And this went all the way up to the executive branch of previous presidents, not this current president.
So there have been different reports over the years. Some reports that there have been pieces of machinery that were found that did not seem earthly. And then there have been reports about life that is not earthly. Which one of those two, or both, are you talking about? A form of life that is not earthly, or just something mechanical that's not earthly?
I'd say you'd be safe to say both.
The way you described this, whatever happened at this meeting, this briefing that was happening, was there something that if we knew, we would feel that we are in danger? You said you wouldn't sleep at night if you knew the things that I saw in these briefings.
Yeah,
should we believe that that's the part where it seemed alarming?
I don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye.
Just to be clear here, what you've just heard. You've heard a member of Congress ask directly, these things that we've recovered, are they machinery of non-human origin, or are they life forms of non-human origin? And his response was, you would be safe to assume both. So we're talking about crashed craft. We're talking about something that's been talked about in UFO circles forever. There are, going all the way back to Roswell, the government got really good at covering up crashed craft incidents, but Roswell isn't the only one. Shit tons of them, actually. Believed shit tons of them. And by shit tons, I mean like 5 or 6 over the last 60 years. But there are these incidents. And, the government really shit the bed with Roswell. That became an incident that people talk about now, 70 years later. So they got better at it. And what he is saying here is that, yes, we have recovered both pieces of alien equipment and we've recovered alien bodies. Let's keep listening.
Should we believe that that's the part where it was?
This is the important part. Okay, this is the important part where he's asked directly, with what here from these hearings, should we be afraid of the aliens?
Alarming.
Yeah.
Should we believe that that's the part where it was alarming?
I don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye.
If these things exist as I think they do, he didn't have to say that. Years past, if you get an authority figure, a bureaucrat, and you ask them a question like this, they wouldn't have tagged it with "as I think they do." It would have just been like, well, if these things exist as I think they do. I mean, this is pretty monumental because he's not being silly about it. He's selling it very serious and very conversationally as something that we saw. Our Congress held these meetings. We know that there were meetings and portions of the thing that went behind closed doors. And he is now talking about some of the things behind closed doors and some of the things that he was told that was not made public. Now, I don't know why he's doing it again. I guess nobody cares about security clearances or whatever. But man, I consider myself a good judge of character, and I have to weigh this against my desire for this to be true, which is what we all must do. I have to weigh my desire for this to be true, with my natural skepticism of Tim Burchett and his motivations. I don't know. It is stunning, though.
I just don't see that. And
that's the part where it seemed alarming.
I don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's the other thing that we need to recognize. Okay, the minute that it is revealed that there is somebody from somewhere else here, we have to decide in that moment, put the fucking guns down. Put the guns down, okay? Our instinct cannot be, let's kill them all, because they will destroy us in the blink of an eye. Why you say that, Pugs? You ever seen an F-16? I have seen an X-15. I've never seen an F-15 leave the atmosphere. Hell, we're all excited because we're going back to the moon for the first time in 50 years. We were actually able to get this rocket off the pad without having to scrub it. Those are still major victories. And you think that we could be in any way, shape, or form technologically in league with a race of people who have been visiting us and spying on us for years? Come on. If they can get to us, they can kick our ass because we can't get to them. We cannot get to them. That's the whole point. That's why they're visiting us. If we find anything on the moon, you better believe that we'll report back to everybody, hey, we visited the moon and we found something. That's kind of what they did. They came here, they found us. Anyway, back to Tim Burchett.
I just don't see that. And I think that's, I just think, but I do think they have the technology and the capabilities of something that we can't understand or we can't grasp.
What I want to make sure I'm understanding is a member of our government has told you and others, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this living creature here that interacted in some form with people?
Yeah.
All right, so that one's another big one because he's like, yeah. So what Harvey Levin very clumsily said was, so you're telling me that a dude got out of a spacecraft and started hanging out with Americans? That's basically the question. And he's like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, we know aliens. We've got aliens. They're over there at Area 51. They live there. Got a condo. They're nice.
They have, and they
in some form with people?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, again.
Brought this alien life, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this
spaceship
living creature here
UFO
that interacted.
How about Harvey Levin? Creature? Really, Harvey? Creature? They have a name. We don't know what it is yet. Creature? Oh, please, Harvey. You know, Harvey's like TMZ. They always like to throw people under the bus when they use the wrong,
in some form with people that maybe brought this living creature here that interacted in some form with people?
Yeah, they have, and they've. It's
Yeah.
pretty wild. I know. But I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd take a lie to you. You want to put me on a polygraph? I'll take it.
I do. In fact, I do want to put you. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry, but that would go a long way. Because again, as I said, I want to believe you, buddy. I want to believe you. This is right up my alley. This is the kind of things, I've been saying this and people have been like, you're nuts. And I'm like, I don't know, man. We'll see. So I want to believe this, Tim. So yeah, please take a polygraph.
But this is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe. I've talked about this before. Underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, see, that's where we're not looking. That us UFO freaks, we know about that. They're under the water, man. That's like their home base. They're just hanging out under the water in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of nowhere, Arctic Circle. With what are those narwhals? They're up there swimming with narwhals. Seriously, and there are shit tons of reports from around the globe of underwater phenomena that they can't explain. So he's talking about this. Well, were they in the sky or are they in the water? They're both, man. They come from the sky, but they can live under the water because, I don't know, they're different.
And there's no fish in the ocean that football described. This is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe, I've talked about this before, underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the. And the last thing he said before he left my office was, he was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, he put me up close, and he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess. Matt Gaetz was involved in something here.
All right, Tim, they're real. Oh, wait a second. I think he went on there. I think there was one more clip. Here, let me see. There's one more clip where I think he addresses the Matt Gaetz thing. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, because I thought the Matt Gaetz thing was in there too. Where is it? Boop, 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 boop. All right, come on.
What did you say?
I was an officer in uniform.
Yeah.
And Matt and I and Representative Luna, we all went down to Florida.
Oh, yeah, this is the Matt Gaetz thing.
That's a true story. Yes. Tim, they're real. Never uses. And he looked at me and put me up close and he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess. Matt Gaetz was involved in something here just recently. He was interviewed and he talked about this interbreeding thing with.
We saw that. We saw that.
Well, that's a true story. That was military personnel. I think that would be a good story.
Now, again, let's listen. Don't just, hear what you want to hear. What he said was Matt told the story about how a military official came to him and said that there was a human alien breeding program. Okay. That's the story that Matt said. Matt said, yeah, an official came. He was a whistleblower and he told me that there was a human alien breeding program. What Tim Burchett just said was Matt Gaetz told a story about a guy who came and visited him, and that's real. Okay, what Tim Burchett is saying here, and again, you got to listen. What he's saying is that Matt Gaetz had a guy come visit him. He's not saying that it's real that we have a human alien breeding program. What he's saying is that somebody came and visited him, and Matt told that story. The guy who came and visited him might have been Nutty Buckets, but that's what he's saying. So don't, I saw a bunch of people who were commenting on this going, so the human breeding program's real? He said it. No, he didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's a true story. That was military personnel. I think that would be a good story to talk to him about if you all can do that.
Right. He says he learned that from someone in the military.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy who's an officer in uniform.
Yeah.
And Matt and I and Representative Luna, we all went down.
Okay, that's a problem. All right? This is a problem. This threesome is a real problem for me, and it's why I'm like, MAGA's moving into UFOs. MAGA is now going to be all about disclosure. That is what they're going to run on. Elect me and I'll make sure they show you the alien bodies. That's what's happening. This dude, Tim Burchett, just name checked Matt Gaetz and that, what's her name? Luna, the Luna chick, the crazy Luna girl. Great name, right? For a crazy chick. She's hot and she's crazy. Anyway, those are like the three involved in this. That's troubling, not going to lie.
Down to Florida, and we were turned away. There's an officer in uniform.
Yeah.
And Matt and I and Representative Luna, we all went down to Florida,
Is it like Anna Paulina Luna or something? Isn't it something like that?
and we were turned away. And then Matt made a phone call to somebody at the Pentagon, and all of a sudden they opened the doors and brought the pilots in that were supposed to tell us the story in the first place. And he can probably elaborate a little bit more on that. But that was pretty fantastic. That was a made for TV special right there in itself.
All right, there you have it. That is sitting Congressman Tim Burchett. And that's why I wanted to stress sitting, because it's just so weird. First of all, you would never expect this to happen to somebody, or you would never expect to hear this from somebody who was, a member of the United States Congress in 1980. If a member of Congress started saying this, you would think that he's no longer in Congress. He's been retired for a bunch of years. He's trying to sell a buck. You would think something like that. But you wouldn't think something like that because nobody ever did it. Nobody ever squealed, right? So now we got a guy who's actually still sitting there. He's got a seat. I come from a time where a guy saying that means, well, he's going to lose his seat. He's gone crazy, and whoever runs against him is going. It's not working now. Why? Because taking the alien question seriously has been normalized. Sometimes good things get normalized. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Savannah Guthrie returned to the Today Show. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that, but they did it the right way. They did it the right way. No big fanfare. There was no 3 days until Savannah comes home. Come on, get happy. They do like these crazy promos. It's Savannah Guthrie week. She's coming. They didn't do any of that. They did it the right way. They did it the classy way. They didn't say anything about it. If you tuned in on Monday, you saw that Savannah was back. That's it. That's how you got to do it. They wanted to. There's a dude in sales like midweek. He's like, okay, so she's still coming back Monday, right? I think I can sell the A block for twice as much. All we got to do is get promos running. Can we do something on Saturday Night Live? Can she maybe show up on Saturday Night Live to promote it? They didn't do that. They didn't do any of that. They just and thank God, just thank God that they knew, and well, probably she had a lot to do with it. She probably wouldn't participate in that. She, she's trying to put on a brave face. I think we got a little bit of her here. Let's see. We can see a little bit of Savannah Guthrie's return. Again, her mom, Nancy Guthrie. I don't know. Let's blame Pam Bondi for that. I don't know. Her mom, Nancy Guthrie, disappeared months ago. It was the #1 story in America. This is just, come on, guys. This is why we're morons. It's the #1 story in America. We're all staying up late. I'm listening to police scanners from Pima County or wherever the hell it is. And then one day we all woke up and went, I'm over it. Yeah, no sad, but I'm over it. All right, what else we got? What's going on? We do this all the time. For me, the last time this happened so obviously was with the New Jersey drones. Remember when we just stop thinking about it? All right. Hey, it works. I stopped thinking about the New Jersey drones that we've been, seeing every night for the past 300 days. They said it's nothing, and I went, okay, it's nothing. Come on, man. We just all walked away from the drone story. We all just walked away from the Nancy Guthrie story. That says something about us. Well, it's a survival instinct. Life goes on. We must mourn and we must move forward. Anyway, here is Savannah Guthrie. She showed up on the Today Show yesterday. Big surprise to everybody. Let's see how they handled it. All right. Oh, need some. Oh.
Morning. We are so glad. Morning. Welcome to today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go. Ready or not? Let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back. We are back at 8:30 on this beautiful Monday morning, and it's a special Monday morning for us and for this crowd as well. Special because we're welcoming back our North Star. Yeah. SG, come on out here.
Who can I ask? Who watches this? I don't know who still. I understand who used to watch the Today Show and Good Morning America and all that, but I mean, is the Today Show on in your house? Is Good Morning America on in your? I mean, I know that I am not a good gauge of this because I live a very non-traditional way, but I don't know any. I mean, is that how it's on? Is it one of those shows that you walk in, you wake up in the morning, you start to make the coffee, and you just put it on, and you don't really pay attention to it? It's on in the background. I just don't understand. And who are these people? These people don't watch. Do these people watch the Today Show every day? Are they really crazed Today Show fans, or are they just tourists to New York who want to see somebody famous? I don't know. Such a weird thing. Oh, they're bringing her out to the people. That's one of the Bush girls, right? I was like, they kind of look alike, don't they? Because like Savannah's walking out with somebody else. And I'm like, oh, is that Savannah's sister? Because it kind of looked like her. It turns out, no, I guess it's Jenna Bush. They kind of look alike, don't they? Come on, look at that. Clowns. I never noticed that before.
They've been waiting for it. How does it feel?
What decide and do? What does that mean?
These signs are so beautiful. You guys have been so beautiful. I've received so many letters, so much kindness to me and my whole family. We feel it. We feel your prayers. So thank you so much.
It's not just today. They've been out here
every day.
Every day.
This is such a nice pocket square. I don't want to slobber on it. Okay, it is. I know. I'm sorry.
How little is a million?
Okay. We love you.
All right.
Insurance fire. Whoa, my car insurance.
I don't know, man. I said before, when this whole thing started, I said, can she go back? Can she go back, or is she just going to bum everybody out? They pulled her from the Olympics coverage and they replaced her with that Mary Carrillo. And just seeing Mary Carrillo there bummed me out because I immediately thought, oh, that's supposed to be Savannah, but she's not there because, her mom, right? It was a reminder. So I kind of thought, I'm like, is Savannah Guthrie going to be able to come back, or is she just going to be a reminder to all of us about this horrible, horrible thing that she went through? And it's not just something that she went through that would be unique to her. We all have mothers. Many of us do anyway. We can all relate to the idea that, oh my God, what if mom's missing? That's a horrifying thing for regular people. And now Savannah Guthrie kind of represents that. Every time I see Savannah Guthrie, I think, I got to call my mom. So I wondered how that would, affect, just from, Today's Show's in the business of getting ratings. How is that going to affect? Are people going to not want to see her? Now, day one in this week, maybe we're going to see really great ratings. I don't know about yesterday because, again, it wasn't announced that she was coming back yesterday, but she did. Today, people knew she'd be there. Tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what the ratings are. But I'm more interested to see what the ratings are a month from now. I would be fearful that, it's a sad thing. And first thing in the morning on the Today Show, you don't necessarily want to be reminded of the horrors of the world. So, but she came out yesterday. She looked great. Look, let me just tell you this too about Savannah Guthrie. You come for Savannah Guthrie, you're coming through me. You're coming through me, and you're coming through a whole shit ton of other people who have adopted her as America's big sister. That's who she is. She's our big sister. Who doesn't love Savannah Guthrie at this point? That's the other thing. That's why I said, I think it's time maybe we reinvent Savannah Guthrie. I think we pull Savannah Guthrie off of the Today Show. She would probably love that. We have to wait. We can't do it right away. We don't want it to look like some sort of a, reactive move to her personal situation. But, we'll wait. I think she's a primetime person now. I think she's a primetime or late night. I think like a real in-depth, like Savannah Guthrie interview series, because we know her life. We know her traumas. We know we can relate to her in different ways. She is now able to do more. She means more to us. I never thought about Savannah Guthrie before this. I knew she was famous, but it's like she wasn't like any more important to me than trying to think of a random woman who is like her. She's no more important than me than Nora O'Donnell on the CBS Morning News or whatever, right? She was just, but now she's special. Now Savannah Guthrie is special to all of us. We know her. We love her. She's a bigger star because of this tragedy. And I don't mean to make that as like, oh, look, she's benefiting. No, what I mean is she's much more higher profile. Many of us had heard the name Savannah Guthrie, but I don't know if 9 out of 10 of us could have picked her out of a bunch of photos of women who do morning news. And I don't know. We do now. Everybody knows who Savannah Guthrie is now. I don't know. She's back. She's working. She's moving on with her life. It's got to be incredibly difficult. No, there's no answers. And by the way, yesterday, TMZ, speaking of TMZ again, Harvey Levin said that they received another ransom note. Another ransom note claiming that they know where the body is. But, I don't know. I do not know if TMZ has been receiving ransom notes this whole time from crazy people, right? So who knows the relevance of TMZ's report yesterday that they've received another ransom note. That may have just been publicized because it was Savannah Guthrie's return. And no, those two stories go together. So I don't know how big of a deal the TMZ ransom note was, but Savannah Guthrie's back and we love her. She's America's big sister. Maybe not big sister. Let's not say that because that would mean our mom's missing. She's America's, I don't know. She's somebody that oh, look what I did. Fat Fingers guy did the fat finger thing again. We'll remove that. All right. Ugh. Thank you. All right. Sorry. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk about this one. Here we go. Here's another weird story. Are you a fan of Chloe Fineman? I am. I love Chloe Fineman. I think she's awesome. So Chloe Fineman is a member of Saturday Night Live. She's very talented. She's very funny. She's also easy on the eyes. I think she's absolutely adorable. She is just an adorable little firecracker of a comedic actress. She got herself in some trouble because the cast of Saturday Night Live sat down with Vanity Fair. And I don't know if you watch any of these videos. They have them all over YouTube. Everything's now got like a digital channel on YouTube. So Vanity Fair's got a digital channel on YouTube. And a lot of that is interview stuff where someone from Vanity Fair interviews people and blah, blah, blah. From time to time, they do these roundtables where they'll get like the entire cast of your favorite show and Vanity Fair will interview them. And it's a great watch. I do it all the time. New Yorker does it. Variety does it. And they all do it. Anyway, they're out there. So Vanity Fair gathered the cast of Saturday Night Live for a fun little video segment. And in this little video segment, they played a game. And the game was called You'll Never Guess What Job I've Been Fired From. Or, yeah, you'll never guess why I got fired. Or whatever it is. I don't know. So Chloe Fineman revealed that she had been fired. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you the video because here's the problem. The video has been taken down. We're going to watch the video and then we'll react to it, okay? The video has been, it was originally taken down. Then Vanity Fair edited it. Seriously, try and say that. Edited it. Hey, yeah, then they edited it. Oh, that's kind of fun to say. Vanity Fair edited it. Oh, man, that's a great word. Edited it. So Vanity Fair then edited it. Oh, look what I did. So Vanity Fair edited all the troubling stuff from Chloe Fineman's story of how she got fired. However, enough people saw it, and now it's a whole thing. Oh, my God. So let's watch it. I think we still have it. Oh, my God, I hope we still have it. I hope it hasn't been taken down. Because you know that's possible. Please be up. It's up. Is it up? It seems to be up. Okay, here it is. Good. So this no longer exists on YouTube. This has been edited. But here's the problem. This is Chloe Fineman with the rest of the cast of Saturday Night Live. They're playing a little game during a Vanity Fair. Hold on. Boop, boop. A Vanity Fair web shoot. Okay, so who do we got here? We got Chloe. Chloe's right here. Okay. We got Mikey Day. We got the queen. Look at her giving those looks. She's like, why am I not sitting in that seat? Look at Ashley Padilla. You got Stretch Armstrong. You got Trump guy, and you got Gross Girl. That's the other ones. I don't know. They have Sarah Silverman. We're going to call him. He's got a bad name. It's like 2 first names, and he doesn't do enough for me to remember it, but I think he's really funny. Let's call him Josh Jackson. Okay. But we know Mikey Day, and we know Ashley Padilla. This one, what did I say her name was? I knew her name. Sarah Silverman. No, Sarah Zuckerberg. Nope. Sarah Kleinbag. There you go. Sarah Kleinbag. Let's go with that. She's Sarah Gross Girl, though. Look at all these tats. She's got bad tats. She made bad choices. She's funny. She's funny, but the tats tell me that she was very insecure and she probably didn't like who she was. All right, so here we go. Chloe Fineman right here. She's a doll. Chloe Fineman. This has all been edited out. This no longer exists. Vanity Fair is ashamed of this. And it's caused a bit of a problem. And we'll talk about it after we watch the video.
Camp counselor.
For hitting on the campers?
No, I pants.
All right, so what job was I fired from and later rehired by? Bonus, why was I fired? Okay, so that's the game that they're playing. So she's got to explain that now.
No, I was fired as a camp counselor.
For hitting on the campers?
No, I pantsed a boy.
Oh, honey, I think you're on a list somewhere.
And he wasn't wearing underpants.
Oh!
And then a giant school bus drove by, and they were like, "You can't," like, because he would lift my shirt all the time.
What
and
is happening?
It was Berkeley.
How old was the child?
He was like 6. No, it was a different time. Like he would be like, "Hey, can I have a hug?" And I'd go to hug him, and then he'd like lift my shirt like a dick. And then I was like, "I'm gonna get back at you." And so we were on a hike, and I was like, "Hey, Ollie, go look over there. It's a hawk." And he looked. And then I yanked his pants down. He wasn't wearing underwear. His little ding-a-ling was out. And then these 2 twins were like, "Oh, I didn't know you didn't wear underwear." And then I was fired. No, I was fired as a camp
All right,
counselor.
there you go. That's the story. That's the story that she told. She pantsed a little boy, a 6-year-old. She used she was very descriptive there. She's like, his little ding-a-ling was out and all that stuff. So Vanity Fair freaked out. They put it up originally, and then people started pointing out she molested a child, which she absolutely did not. But, you can see how people who want, attention might go there. She absolutely did not molest a child. Was it inappropriate? Yes. She was 16. The kid was 6. She's a 16-year-old girl camp counselor, and she claims that the kid was always pulling her top up and, trying to see her boobs. So to get back at him, she decided to pants him. He wasn't wearing underwear. His dick came out. He's 6 years old. She got fired. There's the story. I don't for 1 minute think that Chloe Fineman is a child molester. I think that she was a teenage girl acting impetuously like a teenage girl might. And now you think it through and you're like, well, yeah, that's probably not. You probably shouldn't pants a 6-year-old child. But a 16-year-old doesn't see all that much difference between a 6-year-old and herself because she's just an older child. So it wasn't ever sexual. It wasn't like, let's see his penis. It wasn't that. But I'll tell you this. The rest of the cast is who created the problem here. The rest of the cast laying out on her with this story. And I don't know how I would have reacted either. I don't know if I would have made it worse for her or what, but they laid out on her. Let's watch it one more time, okay? So now you've heard the story. Listen, and you know the backlash, right? People were like, I can't believe they let her say that. I can't believe that there hasn't been an investigation. Where is this child? I'm sure that's what caused Vanity Fair to suddenly yank it down and edit out the parts that we just heard, right? So, okay, so one more time. Let's watch it one more time. And notice how they lay out on her. And Ashley Padilla, who I love, Ashley Padilla did her no favors in that the very first, her instantaneous reaction was to look appalled and then say, oh, you're on a list somewhere. It was almost immediate that Ashley Padilla took it into a dark, like child molester kind of place. She wasn't alone. Everybody else went there too. And I don't know that they went there authentically. I think they may have been just trying to have fun with the story. And it got dark and weird. And now Chloe Fineman's in trouble. Let's watch one more time again. Hold on, we'll make it big. That's what she says. All right, here you go.
Over there, it's a hawk. And he looked. And then I yanked his pants down. No, I was fired as a camp counselor.
For hitting on the camp.
All right, right there, Mikey Day, right out of the box for hitting on the camp counselor. So he goes with the joke first, probably not knowing that it's,
No, I pantsed a boy.
Oh, honey, I think you're on a.
See, look at this. This reaction isn't fun. This reaction isn't yes and. This reaction, that's a term for improv comedy where you keep the mood going. This is concerning here.
List?
On the camp.
No, I pantsed a boy.
Oh, honey, I think you're on a list somewhere.
And he wasn't wearing underpants.
Oh!
And then a giant school bus drove by, and they were like, "You can't," like, because he would lift my shirt all the time.
What is happening?
See, the reaction of the two women is troubling. They're laying out on her. They're not providing her any cover. They're acting like this is a terrible story when they should be actively lightening it because it is kind of a terrible story.
It was Berkeley.
How old was the child?
He was like 6.
Not a good question, Mikey Day. Mikey Day, what are you doing? This is not going the way that you probably think it. Don't ask questions.
It was Bert can't, like, because he would lift my shirt all the time.
What is happening?
It was Berkeley.
How old was the child?
He was like 6. No, it was a different time. Like, he would.
Okay,
How old was the child?
He was like 6.
Okay.
No, it.
Okay, this reaction from Mikey Day, looking away, did not expect 6. He didn't want to hear 6, and he got 6. He shouldn't have asked the question. He shouldn't have asked that question. Too many possibilities for it to go in the direction that it did. 6.
It was a different time. Like, he would be like, "Hey, can I have a hug?" And I'd go to hug him, and he'd like lift.
Laying out. This is late. She's doing voices. She's trying to save it. He's laying out. She's not making eye contact. She won't look at her. Sarah is just staring daggers. This is not good chemistry. They are laying out on her, and this is why this became a problem.
My shirt like a dick. And then I was like, "I'm going to get back at you." And so we were on a hike, and I was like, "Hey, Ollie, go look over there. It's a hawk." And he looked. And then I yanked his pants down. He wasn't wearing underwear. His little ding-a-ling was out. And then these two twins were like, "Ollie, I didn't know you didn't wear underwear." And then I was fired.
Okay. All right. I think this is a nothing story. I don't think that there is any criminal intent here. I think it's a gotcha. You know, people are like, "Oh, we got someone that we can accuse of child molesting, and it's out of her own story. We got her." But, you know, nobody really thinks Chloe Fineman is a child molester. Let's move over to the Hollywood Reporter, who did a whole big expose on it. I saw that. I saw it this morning. It says here, Chloe Fineman goes viral for Vanity Fair clip about pantsing 6-year-old boy at summer camp. All right. It says here, a Vanity Fair clip featuring the cast of Saturday Night Live has gone viral after it was edited to remove specific details and some awkward cast reactions to Chloe Fineman's shocking tale of being fired as a camp counselor in her youth. Vanity Fair's video features Fineman alongside Mikey Day, Sarah Sherman, Ashley Padilla, Jane Wickline. You know, can I just... Jane Wickline, I was very dismissive of her in that video, and I shouldn't be, because she's got something. There is something there. There is something there. It's simmering, and it's very subtle, but it does make me laugh. All right. So Jane Wickline, she's the really tall girl who's kind of quiet, but she's got a funny vibe. All right. So the video included Chloe Fineman, Mikey Day, Sarah Sherman, Ashley Padilla, Jane Wickline, and James Austin Johnson. That's who it is. Terrible name, James Austin Johnson. You need to be a much bigger star for us to remember that name. That's not a good name. Should have changed it. Let's see here. As they, so the premise was that they test one another in an episode of the magazine. They test one another in an episode of the magazine's game show series. This one titled SNL Cast Test, How Well Do They Know Each Other? One segment finds Fineman polling her colleagues to guess the job that she got fired from and later rehired by. See, that's important to note for anybody who's like, oh my God, she did that and got fired and there were no charges? How is it that she's allowed on Saturday Night Live? Call Lorne Michaels. She should never be allowed to, right? That didn't happen. Why? Because she was fucking rehired. Because even the people there on the scene were like, okay, yeah, she can come back. Rehired is really important here. That even they didn't penalize her for it. Vanity Fair video features, as I said, blah, 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 for why was I fired and then rehired. Mikey Day jokes that it was for racially insensitive comments, while Sherman guesses that Fineman was sacked from a restaurant for a bad attitude. Padilla asks out, we didn't see all this. Padilla asks how old she was at the time, and Fineman offers that she was 16. Then she tells the tale. She says, I was fired as a camp counselor. I pantsed a boy. He would lift my shirt all the time. It was just a different time. He would be like, hey, can I have a hug? And then I'd go to hug him and he'd lift my shirt like a little dick. And then I was like, I'm going to get back at you. And so we're on a hike. And I was like, hey, Ollie, go look over there. It's a hawk. And when he looked, I yanked his pants down and then I was fired. Okay. Again, something a 16-year-old might think is perfectly okay to do that maybe a 22-year-old wouldn't. Maybe, just, big difference there, 6-year difference. It's unclear if Vanity Fair responded to online backlash or the publicist's request to remove the more salacious parts of the story. So, yeah, apparently the SNL publicist went a little bit nuts, and they were like, you got to get rid of that. You got to nope, we don't like that. Anyway, I don't know that there will be any ongoing repercussions against the lovely Chloe Fineman, but there you have it. That's the story. That's why she's being dragged. Let's see here. What else do we have? How about we do this? Let's talk about, let's watch this. Okay, hold on. Check this out. So this is a story. This is coming out of, oh my God, what state is this? I forgot what state this was. I had all of this written down. God, all right, whatever. Anyway, it's a bad state. It's a dumb, stupid state, I'm sure. Probably like Oregon or something like that. So this is a school board member. I don't know if you saw this going viral. This is a school board member. And they're doing like a school board meeting. And for this particular school board meeting, they've invited a student representative from, one of the schools, probably high school. As a matter of fact, I think it is high school. So they've invited a representative from the student contingent to sit on the school board for this particular meeting, okay? So this brings us to Keith Irvin. Keith Irvin is a member of the school board here, and as we'll see in a minute, Keith Irvin's a friendly guy. Keith Irvin's a friendly guy. How you doing, little lady? Anyway, let's watch. This comes to us from again, I don't know, I think it's in Oregon or whatever, but it's a school board meeting. And again, these things are recorded. So let's watch how it went down. Now the girl, there's Keith. Look at him. Keith, he's a friendly guy. Keith's friendly. All right. So here's Keith right here. Here's the little high school girl who's being allowed to sit on the board today for this school board meeting. Let's see how Keith welcomes the young lady.
God, you're hot. You know that? Hey, where do you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
This is a dude making decisions about the public education of your kid. He touched her, pulled her close, and then told the 16-year-old girl, God, you're hot. You're making me horny, baby. Let's keep watching. We'll start again, and we're going to break this guy down. We're going to figure out what's happening here.
God, you're hot. You know that? Dang. Where'd you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
So it's obviously not Oregon, right? It's probably like Alabama, maybe Florida. I got to crack it.
Go to school at? God, you're hot. You know that? Dang. Where'd you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
We're all having fun, ain't we? That ain't wrong. She's hot. She's a hot little one, ain't she? Sure is. We're having some fun. Hey, let's talk about what books we're going to burn.
I just want to be crystal.
This clip of a Washington County, Tennessee school board meeting is raising red flags. The video shows board member Keith Irvin touch a student board member on the arm and call her hot, and then ask her what school she goes to.
God, you're hot. You know that? Dang. Where'd you go to school?
Is there a chance he's sitting next to her? Okay. Is there a chance that he's talking about her actual temperature? Because, sometimes you sit next to people and you're like, man, you are emitting some heat. And I guess a clumsy way of saying that would be, man, you're hot. But you don't mean it in the way, the colloquial way, the commonly accepted way of you're hot. Maybe is there a chance? Your Honor, he was simply making mention of the fact that there seemed to be permeous amounts of heat coming off the young lady. And he was concerned about her temperature at the time. Well, let's keep seeing. Hold on.
Arm and call her hot, and then ask.
He touches her arm. I mean, was she physically hot? Like, is she nervous? I don't know, man. I'm trying to help old Keith because, as I said, Keith looks like a friendly guy. Oh, Keith looks like the kind of guy that the neighborhood kids come running in and out of that house all day long. He and the missus unable to have kids. So Keith,
ask her what school she goes to.
God, you're hot. You know that? Dang. Where'd you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
The student, which we blurred to protect her identity, was there to research different schools and present her findings to the school board. After her presentation is when Irvin made the comment.
There was a comment meant to be, I guess, complimentary by a board member, but his.
Was the comment meant to be complimentary, or was it observational about a temperature change that he observed? I think that's a fair question that needs to be asked. And if Keith gets himself a good attorney, that'll probably be the way they take it. It's the way I would take it.
Certainly been determined not to be.
Superintendent Jerry Boyd says the room was tense after the remark.
All right, look at these. All right. This woman seems to be smiling. She's like, oh, isn't that cute? Oh, Keith's going to get handsy with the little girl. She seems to be smiling. I don't know. I guess I can't really tell.
In all honesty, it certainly was an uncomfortable situation. There's a lot of nervousness in the room.
He says because the student was not in immediate danger, it was best to keep the meeting going. Some parents, like Hillary Haley, say Irvin's comments are unacceptable.
Oh, Hillary's going to have a problem with that. First of all, her name is Hillary. Second of all, that haircut. This may be Tennessee, but this woman voted for Harris with a haircut like that. Oh, she's going to have a big problem with this. This is her moment to be a savior.
Acceptable.
As a member of the school board, he is responsible for our children's health and welfare and safety and education. And
what you got, a can of beer on the counter? Well, before the TV crew came by, you couldn't clear the counter of the alcohol?
And the display he put on tells me that he should be nowhere around our children.
She says she found out about Irvin's actions after a student sent the video to her.
He was voicing his concern and his just basically being appalled at what went on at the school board meeting.
Boyd says the school board will be reviewing the comment and taking action if they deem it necessary.
Our board expects a high level of professionalism, and certainly it's being discussed and questionable whether or not the comment met that standard, and I believe the general belief is no.
I reached out to the student's family, who says they do not wish to comment at this time. I also reached out to Keith Irvin, who has not responded as of Friday night.
All right, there you have it. One more time. Let's listen. Hold on.
God, you're hot. You know that? Dang.
Your Honor, he's obviously just making an observation about the body temperature of the young lady. He has concerns. All right, let's forget about that. Let's just go with, yeah, no, he meant it. He meant she's hot. Like, did he forget? What did he forget? I mean, is this a thing that happens with men? God, I hope it doesn't. I'll tell you this. Sometimes I see an attractive woman and I forget how old I am. I totally forget. Thankfully, I've got a 16-year-old son who says shit like, dude, she's closer to my age than yours. And I'm like, oh God, he's right. Oh, jeez. But no, this is a child. What am I doing? This is like dangerous rationalization. You don't know when there's a little high school girl sitting next to you and you don't know that you're not supposed to describe her, or here's the real telling thing. You're not supposed to see her as anything on the sexual scale. Hot is on the sexual scale. You're hot. You make me hot. The suggestion being, I want to have sex with you because you've got me hot and bothered. That is a sexualization. When we say hot, well, you didn't know that? I mean, so you shouldn't go there at all. I mean, what it should be is, oh my goodness, look at you, young lady. Isn't it nice to meet you? Is there anything, whatever. You do that. You make no physical comments. Oh man, you're hot. I totally forgot where I am, and right now all I can think about is banging you. What is he doing? Oh my God, you're hot.
God, you're hot. You know that? Hey, where'd you go to school at?
I go to Crockett.
All right.
That is a horny man in a position of authority. A man in a position of authority in his own kingdom, and that guy's in his kingdom. Is the board. I'm on the board. Did you see it? The sign out front, the permanent sign out front had Keith Urban's name there. This is his universe. He's Keith. Keith's got nothing to be worried about. Not when I'm here. Look at you. Ain't you a hot little thing? Keith forgot. Keith forgot where he was. Keith got too comfortable with his position and decided that he was going to be a horny old man using his position to maybe get a little something with a something. Look at you. Ain't you a hottie? He's the kind of guy who says shit like that to his secretaries, waitresses, He's just that kind of guy. He's Keith. All right, there you go. Creepy board member. All right, we're going to end today's show with something that just makes me so mad. Okay, this really makes me mad. It's such a stupid thing to get mad about, and it is probably part and parcel to what the overall campaign is from this individual. He's got to be the most despised person on the internet, right? Although probably not. He is me. I despise him more than anyone else on the internet because I don't understand it. I don't know why anybody would see this and then go, I got to forward this. And the guy gets thousands and thousands of forwards. God, it makes me mad. And there is no great look. You remember the movie Idiocracy? Remember the film Idiocracy? Remember how, during the course of the film Idiocracy, there'd be a TV on in the background and we'd see what passes for television in their society. And it was always like, ouch, that's my balls. It was always like something so absolutely lowest common denominator, because Idiocracy is of the belief that we are evolving into the stupidest civilization that has ever lived. Civilization that has ever lived. So this is straight out of Idiocracy. This guy would be like the most. Was it America, Idiocracy, or did we long since lose America and it was something else? Whatever. The Idiocracy's favorite comedian. That's who this guy would be. The funniest guy in their society. They'd be like, that guy's so funny. He just, to me, epitomizes that. The lowering of standards, the do-it-yourself entertainment, where there are a lot of people out there realizing that lowest common denominator works. Lowest common, if you can do the absolute stupidest, dumbest fucking thing, doesn't even have to be clever. There doesn't need to be wit. There doesn't have to be any satire or thoughtfulness behind it. No, if you can just be a Bojangles, or if you can just, you can make millions and millions of dollars. And I want to talk about this person because this person is worth $25 million. And he's gotten his net worth of $25 million over the past, are you ready for it? 18 months. In the past 18 months, as an internet guy. He's not even an influencer. Oh, but you've seen him. You've seen him. And here's the thing about this guy. Maybe once you clicked on him. Maybe once. You're like, what's this about? And you clicked on it and you're like, okay. And then you moved on. Maybe. I hope so. That's what I did. I was like, oh, okay, I get this. But since, in the last 6 months, but it's probably over the course of the last year, I see this guy every day on my timeline, especially on Twitter, Instagram as well. And it's just sad. It just makes me sad because I'm like, look at the follows. Look at the people who are commenting. Look at the people who are engaged with this kind of lowest common denominator entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the most hated person on the internet as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to learn all about him. He's this guy. He is everything that is wrong with influence movement here in not only America, because I don't even know that he's American. As a matter of fact, we'll learn about him. He's kind of American, but also not really American. We're talking about this guy. Have you guys seen this guy? This is his whole bit. We'll make it big so you can enjoy his talent.
Somebody!
Do the dance! What is it? $25 million in 18 months. This is what he does. $25 million. Online profits, 18 months. This is his talent. I love it when he says that. It's so funny. Also, my favorite thing is when he dances for no reason. There he is. Look at him. And he's big and scary. I like it when big, scary black men are totally, look at him. Big smile. He's friendly. All right. I can't handle that shit, man. I'm sorry. You've all seen that guy. That guy is the hottest thing on social media right now. $25 million over the last 18 months in combined sponsorships and influencer deals. We haven't even factored in what he makes for his hits and his subscribes and all of that stuff. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know how hard I work on this show? Every fucking day. Every fucking day. I'm reading the internet, news stories, journal, watching shit, writing script, and this motherfucker? God damn it. Oh, yeah, seriously. Jealous? Fuck yeah. You would have to be abnormal not to look at that guy and go, oh my God. All right, so who is that guy? Well, that is, he's a Nigerian guy. He lives in Boston. He moved to Boston here when he was younger. He was like, I don't know, let's get his full story, huh? I'll give you his name. I don't want to give you his name. I really don't want to give you his name. Because, then all of a sudden you know who he is instead of just being the hysterical, big, muscly black guy that's on social media. He's so funny. He's so funny. Have you seen him? Oh my God, he's hysterical. Are there people out there who say that? Like, right? He's so popular. There has to have been somebody at some point who saw it on their phone and then went to one of their friends and went, oh my God, you got to see this. It's so funny, right? Somebody did that. Who the fuck is that person? And how can we sink this fucking low? All right. His name, if you're wondering, is Clive. His name is Clive Ebenezer-Gooby. That's right. Clive Ebenezer-Gooby. There you go. Widely known as Big Groove and formerly the Groovin' Gorilla. The Groovin' Gorilla, the Nigerian muscle guy. He is a Nigerian entertainer who has built a massive following by blending bodybuilding, high-energy dance, and a passion for food into a unique brand. He's best known for his viral Shark Bite videos where he showcases Black Boy Joy. That's what the dance is called. Black Boy Joy. Shark Bite. I bet he's got all these things trademarked. He is best known for his viral Shark Bite restaurant videos where he showcases Black Boy Joy through spontaneous dance routines and enthusiastic eating. He also has a thriving fitness and health business. So he has used this because he's all muscly and then he does this health. He charges people. He gives health advice to people. Do you see what he eats? The gluttonous kind of, just with he doesn't look like my body is a temple. And maybe that's part of the juxtaposition that makes him interesting to some people. I don't know. Trying to fucking figure this out. How people like that suddenly take off $25 million in 18 months. For that. That's who we are. That's who we are collectively. That's what we celebrate. Jeez. Let's see here. He was raised in Nigeria and spent much of his teenage years in Boston, Massachusetts, as the middle of three brothers in a household led by a single mother. He's Nigerian. He frequently incorporates his culture into his content. I'm sure that he does. I'm sure. What I like to do is I like to promote my culture. And so what I'll do is real subtly. There is nothing fucking subtle about this guy. He's not incorporating his Nigerian culture. It's not something that he's doing deliberately. He's just Nigerian. That's it. Stop giving him fucking credit. Seriously, look at that. He frequently incorporates his Nigerian culture. Oh, really? Just before screaming Shark Bite, does he tell us about the presidents and kings of Nigerian history? Something like that? No, he doesn't. He's just a guy from Nigeria, and you're trying to make him something more than he is. What he is a guy who made $25 million in the last 18 months with those videos. Let's see here. Before becoming a viral entertainer, he was a dedicated bodybuilder and certified health coach. How he makes his money? Well, he makes his millions through... Hold on. All right. Let's see. Brand sponsorships. He partners with major brands for sponsored content. He typically earns between $10,000 and $20,000 per video just in the branding. Just, what kind of shirt is he wearing? What kind of, whatever. So he gets branding deals, sponsorship deals to, wear certain products and stuff. And that's about $20,000 per video. He gets that. Then there are the collaborations with national brands. Okay, many of his videos feature specific establishments, often serving as high-impact visual promotions for venues and chains. So yeah, he's got a number of deals with giant restaurant operator groups where, he will go to their restaurants and do Shark Bite. Let's see. It says here that he also is doing tours. Okay. He has appeared on America's Got Talent. As what? As fucking what? He has appeared on America's Got Talent season 20. He also hosts his own coast to coast Shark Bite tour events. So there's somebody out there, sponsoring that, throwing I'm going to need $5 million to go coast to coast all year. And I'll stay in a different hotel, but I'll go to a place and do a Shark Bite event. Okay, there you have it. Once again, that's the guy. He's the big muscly guy who is just a huge human embarrassment, but whatever, because he made $25 million in the last 18 months, and I'm a fucking fool. Yep. All right. I hope you had a good show or enjoyed the show. I sure did. We all ready for war because war is coming. One more time, I would like to thank our executive producer of today's show. It's I got to shake my fucking can. Shark Bite. I got to shake my can. Our executive producer of today's show is the lovely, the talented, and the dependable. Thank you so much to Tracy D. We definitely need all the help we can this month. We're already behind the 8 ball, so drop a little something and support this show if you can. As I said, it is Pledge Week. That thing's been scrolling down there all day until just now. Let's get it back. Thank you to Tracy. She's our executive producer today. If you want to be tomorrow's executive producer, all you got to be is the big tipper from today's show. And the way you do that is you drop a little something in either the Venmo or the Cash App. Thank you so much. We've got a goal we're trying to meet by the end of the week, so help us out. Maybe I'll just go... what if I did this? How about this? This is my bit. All right, here's my bit. I'm just going to walk into a fucking Jack in the Box in a diaper, completely naked, and I'm just going to shove as much food into my mouth as I can. Is that a bit? Can I do that? And then I'll go, wah, diaper baby want burger. Is that something? Will that go fucking viral? Can I make $25 million in 18 months? Wah, burger baby. Whatever. I just invented something that's probably somebody else is going to run with. Cut to 5 years from now. I'm in court going, no, I remember it was the eve of the war with Iran, and I talked about I'm the burger baby, and now this burger baby stole it. That's what's going to happen 5 years from now. You guys are the best. Let's keep our fingers crossed for tonight and, say a prayer or send good energy or whatever it is. Because, I don't know, stupid shit could happen tonight. So let's be prepared for it. We'll rally back here tomorrow. Is that a deal? Can we do that? We agree? Okay, tomorrow we'll be back here at noon. I love you guys. Have a great one. Tip the show. Help us if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. I don't hold it against you. You know how it works. Some of us have the money. Some of us don't. And the people who don't, we rely on the people who do. And we'll get through it. We always do. Love you. Bye.